It's my pleasure tonight to introduce Linda Hancock. Linda is the director of the Wellness Resource Center at Virginia Commonwealth University. She's a family nurse practitioner who's provided primary health care to college students at VCU for 2 decades.
I think she's going to talk about alcohol concerns here on campus, campuses nationwide. And to add to that, I'd say drug abuse as far as alcohol and other stuff.
Maybe a human ear or a fetus. Not sure which.
Something reproduction or social issues.
Alright, earlier I said a fetus, which I'm kind of sticking with. But now I see beer pong cups, so maybe it is beer pong and fetuses together.
But she's got
Do you think about it?
Oh, I tell people that I do all the S's. I've been on a college campus for 2 decades, so the S's include sex, substance abuse, smoking, silliness, spirituality, social norms, stress management. I love college students. They're bright, they ask great questions. I think they've been given a lot of myths and misperceptions by our culture. So what I like the most is when students have this light bulb that goes off in their head and they're like, huh, never thought about it that way before. That's what I like.
The only button you shouldn't hit on your clicker is go. And when I tell 18-year-old college freshmen not to hit go, what do they have to hit? Okay, so don't hit go, it'll change your channel.
Well, actually, before I had clickers, advent of clickers, the most challenging part was getting them to believe that they're actually healthier than they think.
These are totally anonymous. Nobody will know what your answer is. You can try to be like my freshman and skew the data by hitting your button as many times as possible. It only takes the last response.
Because actually, college students are good people with good hearts and do the right thing most of the time. They just think everybody else is jumping into bed, drinking a lot of alcohol and smoking dope. But really, they're not. So with clickers, I can ask people what they really do and they can give me the truth. And the little graph pops up on the screen and you get to see their little jaws hit the floor. That's what I like.
The first question I ask any girl who comes to my clinic to see me is, are you sexually active? And it's not because I'm a sex pervert, okay? It's because it's tacky to write for drugs like penicillin if you don't know if somebody's pregnant. So I had this one girl come in and I said, are you sexually active? And she's like looking really confused and I thought it was a yes no question. And she said, well, I don't have sex really often, but when I do, I'm really active. I'm like, no, that is not them.
I've worked in clinics, so I'm a family nurse practitioner. So students come into my student health clinic, you know, with different issues. I always say students come attached to molecules, you know, alcohol and drugs and other sexually related issues. So whatever I see that's hurt a student or endangered their chance of success, I get to go and flip it around and try to prevent it. So that's how I got started.
But do you know other genetic snowflakes who could consume large volumes of alcohol from the very first time they drank? We got the Irish virus in my family. My brother Mike, first time he drank, he didn't even catch a buzz till he had 4 or 5. All his friends are falling down acting like asses. Mike's just catching a buzz at 5. Continues to drink that night until he touches the face of God. And then the next day, no hangover. And what did all of his buddies say? Dude, we're doing, right? He gets all this social acclaim because he can hammer back some beers. So what would it make sense for my brother to do? Drink more, right? Felt good, no side effects, no hangover, social acclaim. You know what he actually did? Never drink again. Mikey turned 50 this year. I said, Mike, you still don't drink. Why? He said, nah, I don't know. I never met anybody I liked better drunk than sober. It didn't seem like it was worth the risk. And my mom's an alcoholic.
The first presentation I was asked to do was for a group of fraternity guys who were in trouble, and they had to come to an alcohol education lecture, and they scheduled it on a Super Bowl playoff Sunday night. And they all sat there like this. And that's when I decided I should be a funny nurse practitioner. And what I found is that if you can tell stories, if you can not judge people, if you can just, I really enjoy the heck out of college students, and they know I enjoy them, and they know I'm sincerely interested in their well-being, and they seem to respond to it.
So then you stop pushing, and then you have to just kind of reflect back what they said. I was like, so really for you, like your pot use isn't a problem. Now all of a sudden, he doesn't have anything to push against, and he corrected me. Well, not really. I'm kind of missing a lot of my classes,
Her presentation was very well put together. I like the slides, and I like that we could immediately tell her how we felt about what she was saying. And she didn't stress sex so much, and that was really good. It was more about like alcohol and drugs, but she didn't like tell us what not to do. It wasn't so negative. It was actually like listening to us and kind of interacting with us, and I really appreciated it.
So I saw this one girl, and she'd been in love with one man for 5 years, only had one partner for 5 years. I'm like, so, you guys using condoms? No, I'm on the pill. He hates those things. Not only did he break my 50-mile radius rule, he lived in another country. I'm like, I think maybe we should do an HIV test. And of course it was positive. And here she is at 22, HIV positive. My entire life is students who have had impact on me. But the most recent one, I was just talking to Kevin about it on the way here, is I have a student who's brilliant, graduated cum laude from VCU, and is drinking a half a handle a night. And you know how much is in a half a handle that costs you $13 at the ABC store? That's 22 drinks a night. Yeah, and he had no idea he was drinking 22 drinks a night. Never realized, and he has basically gone into physical withdrawal and was vomiting blood. And now, because he's really smart, he Googled detox, and he has detoxed himself, and he is doing really, really, really well. But did our culture do anything to set him up so that he would know how to use that molecule on a low-risk way? No. So now he's pretty much in a situation where he's permanently changed his body, and he can no longer be a low-risk drinker. He'll have to be a total non-drinker. But, and you know, would it be easy for him to slip back and end up hurt again? Yeah. I just, you know, I think of student after student after student, many of them, you know, who've been rape victims or who've broken legs or who've failed out and had to come back. And it just seems like a waste not to do more for prevention than we do. Because you just aren't born knowing this stuff. I just want to tell you, we tested a residence hall full of 33 guys to see how many of the 33 guys could get a condom on correctly, how many could get it on correctly. 4. Close. 3. Not bad.
Usually the penis deposits the sperm at the little pink donut, and the sperm has to swim 3 inches up to the tubes, which is where conception takes place. What is another 3.5 inches to a very determined sperm? Not a whole lot. Now, it doesn't fly across the room, and it doesn't go through Levi's or sweats that I know of, but if you are having wet-to-wet external contact, yes, you can get pregnant.
Students always make me laugh. This one is not this is an example of how students think outside the box. I have a big art school on my campus, and the students were told that they had to portray how they felt about their art. And this student thought long and deep about how he felt about his art. And so he fasted for a day, and then he ate colored confetti and yellow banana pudding, and he came in at class, and he took Ipecac a half hour before he went in, and he just kind of hurled all over the campus because he felt like his art came deep from within to the outside. And it was awesome, except for he took too much Ipecac and he couldn't stop vomiting, so I got to see him. But that's an example of how much thought and creativity college students have. And so what we need to do is harness that creativity for the good. So you can't judge a book by its color, and that's why I love college, because you know, as long as you're a seeker, as long as you're interested in finding out something, college is the place for you. So, you know, it's just been an honor to work with college students. They make me laugh every day, every day.